And we're on. Welcome. In our episode, Timeless Personal Growth and Development. We're talking about fear today. How too many of us are living in fear, and we need to stop and take our lives back and start being grown-ups and start thinking for ourselves. And it's obvious to relate this kind of topic to what's been going on in the world with the pandemic the last 2 years. But living in fear doesn't just relate to the pandemic. It could be in any aspect of your life. People live in fear in relationships. People live in fear of their job, of their occupation. People live in fear in school. And it's to your own detriment that you live in fear. We can live in fear when it comes to our friendships. Friendships with people can cause us to live in fear. When we have toxic relationships with people, that causes us to live in fear. And it takes a lot, and a certain lot of detachment and emotional maturity to be able to get out of that, to unplug from it, and get our heads right and get where we need to be. But if you noticed obviously you clicked on this video, you noticed the thumbnail. What was the thumbnail of this video? There's a guy sitting on a couch watching the news, and then a little bubble in the word saying, how do we stop living in fear? And in the next picture, you see him turning off the television, turning off the news. And that's something we can all relate to now with the pandemic going on. Is a lot of people there's a lot of misinformation going on. People are living in fear. People don't know what to do. And I'm gonna be honest. When this first started 2 years ago, I started to live in fear. I didn't really know what was going on, but you didn't know what was going on, so you educate yourself of what is actually going on, and that's the issue too, is you don't know what information to take in. You don't know what information is credible. And if you watch mainstream media, you'll notice it's always terrible. It's always bad news. There's always something wrong. There's always new cases, new hospitalizations, a new variant. There's always new mandates. There's new lockdowns. There's always something. It's a never-ending treadmill. There's never light at the end of the tunnel. No, because it's mainstream media. It is designed to do that. It's designed. There was this scene, I think it was a James Bond movie, Tomorrow Never Dies. I think it was 1997. I think it was Pierce Brosnan's second James Bond movie. And the villain's name, I forget his name in the movie, but he manipulates mainstream media. And he's able to control mainstream media and put whatever news topic he wants, he could put on that news. To whatever agenda that he has, he can put whatever he wants on the news. And there's this great line that he says that there's no news like bad news. And that's very, very relatable now. There is no news like bad news, because the bad news, the constant stream of bad news, keeps us in fear, keeps us anxious, keeps us scared, keeps the hysteria going. And that's basically what they want. They want to keep that going. They don't want it to stop. Mainstream media is designed to keep eyeballs on the screen. And if you watch a movie, for example, If you watch a movie where everybody gets along, everybody's happy, there's no conflict, and everything's awesome the whole movie, you're not gonna watch that movie. It's boring. Yeah, it's boring. You don't want to watch that. You want to watch a movie where there's a lot of drama, there's not a conflict, and mainstream media is designed the exact same way. They want you to keep watching. You're only gonna want to watch a movie that has a lot of conflict and drama. It's interesting. It keeps you engaged in the story. Of course, mainstream media is designed the exact same way to keep you sucked in to watch, to keep getting viewers. And if they were reporting great news all the time, you know, there's no conflict, there's no drama, people would get bored. Human beings, we like conflict. We like drama. We get a dopamine hit from that, from drama. We do. And like, I'm guilty of this too. Yes, I will scroll through my phone most of the time in the evening. I will scroll through my phone and I'll look, I just like looking at people's comments to this fear, this anxiety, and hysteria that we're living in now. I just like watching people's comments. Yeah, it's a dopamine hit for me. It gives me a little bit of entertainment and I like laughing at it. Is it healthy? Maybe not. I mean, I could do healthier things, but it's an addiction. Mainstream media is an addiction, just like your phone, just like video games, just like social media. It's all designed to be addictive and to keep your eyes on the screen. Whatever they are saying is true or not, that doesn't matter. That's besides the fact. It's designed to keep your eyeballs there, keep you clicking. And the same thing with talking about I think it was January 6th yesterday. They were talking about the anniversary of the Capitol Hill riots. And yeah, of course, he wanted to cover the 1 year anniversary of that. I'm like, why are you talking about a 1 year anniversary over that? I'm like, and no, don't. Doesn't American news media have better things to talk about? More problems to solve than that? No, they want to cover drama. They want to put the focus on Trump. That's what they want to cover. They want to create that drama and create that indignation. Because they love talking about that stuff. And no, it's not going to stop, and it's not designed to stop, but it's our responsibility as human beings to be able to look and be able to self-reflect and look inside of ourselves. Like, is this really healthy for us to live in fear, in a constant state of fear? Because if you look back 200 years ago, we didn't have news media. We didn't have phones and screens and ways to connect with each other all the time. We used religion to keep people living in fear. Obviously can't do that now. So what do we use now to keep people living in fear? We use social media. We use mainstream media to do that now. And you need to be aware of what you're taking in and what you're watching. You need to be aware of that. Where you're getting your news from. And you can relate this to a relationship. Are you living in fear of your relationship? Are you living in fear of your parents? Are you living in fear of your children or a friend? Because you need to be aware if you are living in fear. Because if you're living in fear, you need to detach from that right away. Because it is harming your life. It absolutely 100% is harming your life. You gotta ask yourself, do you want to keep living in fear, or do you want to enjoy your life and detach yourself, unplug yourself from this nonsense? I've had toxic relationships before, and I had to detach myself from it. Like, no. And it takes a certain level of maturity, a certain level of personal growth to be able to see, no, this is not a healthy relationship. It's not. This is toxic. And then even when I was When I was younger, sometimes you don't realize what a toxic relationship is. It just feels normal. Someone who grew up in a very toxic household will end up finding relationships that relates and very similar to the toxic environment they had growing up. It doesn't feel toxic. It's just normal because that was their normal. Well, once you detach yourself from it and look at other people's life, oh boy, this is not as normal, as healthy as I thought. This is actually very toxic, and it is. And you can relate that to human beings, to people, to family, to your job. Are you enjoying your job? Are you in a toxic work environment at work? Are you enjoying it? Are you surrounded by toxic people that are causing you to live in fear for your job? Because if you are, you gotta get out. Because if you're working at a job that's constantly, if you got to support your family, and if you're living in fear, that's going to affect your mental health. And that's going to affect your performance, your quality of life at home, and affect your family life too. In a constant state of living in fear when it comes to going to work. And it's everywhere. It's everywhere. It's our work, it's our relationships, it's what we watch on TV, it's everything. In a constant state of living in fear. Our lives are meant to be enjoyed and have fun, right? And we got to be aware of what we're taking in and what we're seeing and how we're interpreting everything that's happening around us. And we need to ask ourselves, how is this helping me? This relationship, how is it helping me? How is it benefiting me? The content that I'm watching on TV, on the internet, how is it helping me? How is it benefiting me? Is this creating a certain sense of indignation? Is it just clickbait? What is it? Is this benefiting? Is this helping me? If it's not, if it doesn't serve any purpose to help you, to push you a little bit closer to your goals, get rid of it. You don't need it. Get it out of your life. Let's sit on that, marinate on that, and think about it. Are you living in fear? Because if you are, then you need to assess a few things. And you need to readjust things in your life. And you need to change your vision and your view on certain things. And be okay and be comfortable changing your view on life. That's okay. And learn to change your beliefs to help upgrade your life and help the quality of your life. On that note, thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Hope this video was of value to you. Do me a big favor, like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good one.